I gave you my heart.
Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Erica. I haven't posted a video in so long. Oh my goodness. People have been asking for them and people have been asking me for story time. So I'm here. Here I am. I'm going to give you a story time. So because it's October, the next few story times are going to go with the October theme. So if you celebrate Halloween, if you don't celebrate Halloween, if you believe in things like this, if you don't believe in things like this, it's perfectly fine. I just hope you enjoy the story. It's not for anybody to make anybody feel offended or to hurt anybody or bother anybody. It's just an experience that happened. So I just wanted to share that with people and hopefully you guys will be entertained. So I got my little blanket and I have my coffee. So for those of you who don't know me, I love coffee. I can drink it at night and I won't be like all wired. I actually get sleepy and I can actually drink it in the morning, but usually in the morning I like iced coffee and at night I can have it like warm. So that's just a little tidbit about me. So now you know when you come to my channel, if you see me with some coffee or you see me with an iced coffee, you might know what time it is. So to go with the November, oh my God, guys, is it the coffee talking or what? To go with the October theme, I have a scary story for you guys. So if you like scary stories, keep watching. And if you don't, you might want to click out because this one is a little scary. So this story involves me, my brother, my mom, and my mom's ex-fiance from a long time ago. So I'm just gonna call them like stepdad, mom, and brother. So I don't really have to give them a name. If I have any stories that include them later on, I'll probably still refer to them as like brother, mom, and stepdad, or I might give them names, but as of right now, I'm not gonna do that. We'll save that for some of the juicier stories that people don't really want me talking about. So with this story, I lived in the Bronx. I lived in New York. This was a really long time ago. I was like, I might have been 12 years old. And at the time, I had a dog, and my dog was a chow. So if any of you guys know what a chow is, I call them chow chows, but some people just call them chows. They're real like fuzzy dogs. They're real overprotective of their owners. And when they love you, complete loyalty. They're basically like a pit bull with hair. They look like beautiful teddy bears and they can be really, really aggressive when they have to be and very overprotective for their families, but they're very well trained dogs if you train them correctly. So anyway, I had a dog. She was a chow. Her name was Buffy. So my mom had got me this dog and me and the dog had like an instant connection. It was something that happened with her mother while her mom was giving birth to her, and the puppies were basically dying. The mom didn't want to feed them. So I basically hand fed this dog for days, like trying almost not to sleep because I had to stay up and like feed this dog and make sure she survived and all of these things. So I was really dedicated to this dog. So the dog ended up surviving. My grandmother let me keep her from when she was born, and I just fell in love with the dog. So we ended up moving from a bit like this kind of private house area in the Bronx, and we moved to an area known as like Gun Hill Road. So if any of you guys are from New York, then you know what area I'm talking about. It's Gun Hill Road is like right across from the street from a hospital. I forget the hospital name, but it's a really big building. So we go ahead, we move over there. When we moved there, me and my dog had my room, of course, and my room was pretty big and it was really nicely set up. The apartment itself was huge. Like, when I say huge, I mean the main hallway, when you open the front door to see like the whole home, could have been another apartment. Like, that's how big this building was. So we came in and we were happy because we had a lot of space. It was a huge 3-bedroom, big bathroom, big living room, kitchen, everything. So it was a really huge space. Walk-in closets, like ridiculous. So I come in, I'm sleeping in my room. You know, once we start moving in, everything is all set up. I'm sleeping in my room. Always sleep in my room. I sleep with my dog. And they had a little kind of foot rug when you step on your bed, when you step off. Like, I have my slippers on it and stuff. So at night, the dog would sleep in this little, on this little rug. Like, she loved to sleep there. So I started noticing that every night around a certain time, my dog would bark. She would constantly bark, and my mom would always complain, like, the dog is barking too much. We might have to get rid of her. We live in a building, boom, boom, boom. So I was, you know, kind of getting worried about that. I didn't like the thought of, like, my dog having to leave me. But every night around the same time, she would bark, she would growl. She was becoming very, very, like, overprotective. So there was a few times we had left the house and we come back, and then there would be like dishes out or something not right in the house. And my mom would always blame it on the dog. It's a dog. It's a dog. The dog's doing it. It's a dog. So, you know, I was getting to the point that I was becoming very overprotective. I was kind of being a little defiant, which I shouldn't have been. I was only 12, shouldn't have been talking back. But my little smart tail was, because I wanted my dog. I wanted to keep my dog. And I kept telling her, like, it's not the dog. She knows better. She's not going to go through your dishes. She's not going to go through any of your stuff. Like, it's not the dog. So fast forward, it was probably like a month or so into us living there, maybe 2 months. I started noticing that in my room only, I would hear like certain things like kids, and it sounded like little bikes and toys and stuff like that while I was sleeping. So I started hearing it consistently, like all the time, every night. So I would get up out of bed around the same time that my dog. So I would get up at the same time that my dog would start barking. Like, I would hear it, and here she would come barking every night at the same time at night now. So now I'm actually like hearing these things, and it's really getting me like out of my comfort zone. So I'm getting up and I would go and sleep in my brother's room. It was a consistent routine. I would go to my brother's room, me and my dog, and we would sleep fine. There would be no problems. The dog would sleep all night. I'd sleep all night. And to the point that literally every night I was either sleeping with my brother or sleeping with my mom. And so my mom started noticing like I wasn't sleeping in my room, and she asked me, and I was telling her like what was happening and what I was hearing and stuff like that. And everybody, I think they just thought I was kind of like bugging out. They're like, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think you're just dreaming. And I'm like, I'm not dreaming. I hear things in my room at night. And finally, I think it was a few months after, I was sleeping in my room. So I'm sleeping in my room, and again, the dog is at the little rug on by my bed. This time it was probably around like 3:30, almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I hear my door open because I started hearing my dog get restless. She's like moving around a little bit, starts sniffing around. I start hearing her get, a little restless. So I start to kind of wake myself up, and I hear somebody open my door. So when they open my door, my dog jumps on my bed, and now she's at the foot of my bed, and she's growling. She didn't bark this night. This night was totally different, and she just starts growling and following whatever this is around the room. And I can feel her like legs move from this side, and now she's like facing straight, like her tail is facing towards my body while I'm sleeping. So I kind of look from under the blanket and I peek over and I can see her. I used to have like a little nightlight, so I can kind of see her. Like now she's standing straight staring, and she's growling, and then her head is moving like this, and she's following like whatever she thinks she sees in my room. So now I'm kind of like freaked out because I clearly heard my door open, and I know that it sounded like somebody was walking, and we had like these wood floors. So I stayed in the bed, and then finally she starts barking. She's going off. As soon as it got to like the far left side of the room, by the radio, by the windows, she starts going off. She's barking. My mom turns on the hallway light because she hears her. I turn on the light and I start telling my mom, like, what happened? I'm like, this happened. So my mom's like, go sleep with your brother. So I go sleep with my brother. Again, fine. Get in my brother's room. We go to sleep. Everything's fine. It was like the most peaceful room in that house. So we ended up, what did we do after that? So my mom, she started taking it serious, like all the things that I was telling her and stuff like that, and like the way the dog was barking at the same time every night. So I think she really started to put two and two together, like, okay, something may not be right here. So she went to the super of the building and she asked him, she said, hey, is there something that you need to tell me about my apartment? And he kind of looked shocked. And she's like, is there something that you need to tell me? Because earlier that morning, after everything had happened, there was a neighbor. And the neighbor was coming out of the building the same time we were coming out of the door. So she's coming out her door, we're coming out our door, and the apartments were kind of like this way. So we're coming out, she's coming out. My mom says good morning, and then my mom asks her, like, hey, is there anything that was strange going on in this apartment that you know of? And she goes, yeah, there was a lady there, and she had some type of mental breakdown, and she ended up like starving some of her kids, killing some of her kids, and things like that. And she ended up having to go to like a mental institution or something, or I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I know it was something along those lines. She had a lot of kids, I know that. And something with like some of the babies, like a newborn baby had been starved, and it was just really like a bunch of overloaded information that we had no idea about. So my mom went to the super and she's like, is there something you want to tell me? So he's looking at her like, huh? And she told him, like, I heard that something happened in this apartment, and he finally told her like it was true. So my mom was like, okay, now it's possibly going to be time for us, to like move. So she starts looking for us to move in Connecticut because majority of her family were already in Connecticut, and she just wanted to migrate over, join the club. So, here I am, I'm 12, getting ready to move out of state, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy because I'm going to be leaving this apartment and like the negative energy. So we go ahead, and my mom is like packing. She ends up like subletting the apartment to somebody else so that they could finish off the lease. And she's like, we're moving, we're going to Connecticut. So the day we have like the U-Haul truck, we have like family there helping us. We have a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of people. Like we're packing up shop. And the day that we're leaving, my mom had her room door. Her room door was locked. She ended up putting the lock on it because she had already moved the stuff out of her room, and some of the people who were going to be moving in started putting their stuff in my mom's room. So my mom was like, listen, all your stuff is in the room. I'm going to lock the door. And after I lock the door, nobody who's moving my stuff out is going to have access to that room. So my mom did her room first. They came in, moved their stuff in. My mom locked the door. Then they left. So after that, people were kind of joking around in the house because they knew that, we had told them like little stories about the house. So people, I had a few of my cousins were there, and some of my step cousins and some of my mom's friends and stuff like that. They were just all helping move. And they are kind of joking around, like, oh, hey, who is it? Who's in there? Like, who's in this house? I was like, I don't think you guys should do that. Like, realistically, that's not how I roll. Like, I don't do stuff like that. So, you know, they were kind of doing that. And then my mom's room door, the more they kept doing it, it was just really weird because my mom's room door kind of shook a little bit. And I'm sorry, I was checking the time. So my mom's room door shook a little bit. So after her room door shakes, I pick up on it and I'm just like, you guys should really stop playing because, you know, like, did you guys hear that? So they're like, yeah, but they thought like it was a joke. Like, they thought like somebody was in there, we're playing a prank on them, so they keep doing it. Literally, the door does it again. So I'm like, I instantly, like, we're towards the end. Like, there's nothing really in the house anymore. People were kind of just like standing around, drinking Heineken and stuff like that. If you know anything about Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, they love their Heinekens. So they're kind of like, you know, drinking Heinekens and hanging out and getting ready for us to leave and saying farewell. And the younger kids are kind of playing around. And, you know, the second time, the door shakes. So now I grab my shit. I'm sorry. I grab my stuff. And I told my mom, like, what was happening. I told my grandmother what was happening. And I'm like, you know, so my grandmother had said something about it because she's really, you know, a big believer in certain things like that. And the door shook again. So everybody kind of at this point took notice, like the adults to the kids, and everybody was kind of like standing around, walking slowly towards the front door and looking at my mom's bedroom because my mom even knew she locked the door. So the door shook for the fourth time. And everybody is like backing out of the house now because it's like really scary. And everybody is like a believer at this point. Like, something is just not right here. So again, somebody decided that they wanted to play again and, you know, say something else, and thought it was so funny. And when they did that, my mom's room door literally flew open. I don't think people have ever ran that fast in, like, I don't think if I've seen anybody run that fast out of an apartment unless there was like a fire or something like that, because they were out, literally. So we left the apartment, whatever. If there was even like a shirt left in that apartment, it was not getting touched. No one went back into that apartment. We literally went downstairs, packed up shop, and we were gone. Literally in Connecticut within the next 2 hours. We were not going back. And since then, none of our family, nobody has been back to that unit. Nobody wants to go back to that unit. And that was literally one of the weirdest places that I had to reside. So I'll name this story eventually at some point. I don't know. I'll think of a name of what I'm going to name this story, but definitely this is 100% true. There is not a lie told in this story. Woo. Babe! Come here! Come here! Come here! Okay. All right, we're ending this story right now. Okay, guys. All right. So I'm kind of at a loss for words. So I was making this video and I wanted to start my Halloween Chronicles, like a nice little series. So the purpose of this video was I wanted to see how it would feel, like, you know, just chilling, being in the chair. I had no intention on actually using the first video because, one, I look a mess. I was trying to be comfy, but I didn't want to be comfy and look at a mess. You know, I'm new to YouTube. I'm trying to really like learn my angles and stuff like that. I wasn't trying to be laying down on the chair just looking crazy and my little double chin hanging out and stuff like that. Like, you know, I wanted to be cute. So so the first video was supposed to be a trial run video, but that video definitely has to be used because it's very authentic and it's very real. So I have no choice but to use it. I'm kind of upset about it because I'm like, oh my God, I look a mess. But I'm still going to use it because it is what it is. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I look forward to bringing you more content. But what I will tell you is that is the first and the last Halloween series video for this Halloween. So enjoy this video as much as you can. I will not be posting another one. I am traumatized. I think I have like PTSD, like seriously. I really do. So I'm still like trying to bring myself like from here down here. I'm like midway, like I'm kind of like getting there. So I'm just gonna have to take a shower, take it easy, relax for the rest of the night with my hubby, and that's it. But there are no more Halloween series videos coming out. That's a very authentic video and we're not doing any more, and not happening. I'll see you guys next time. Come back to my channel, subscribe. We're gonna have way more story times and they're not gonna be scary.